guys, it's Jess from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a recommendation video for you. I haven't done one in a while, and it's about time I did one, and I am here with my favorite brooding heroes. So I will say Lacey from Book Lovers for Life did do a video of her favorite grumpy heroes. I will link that down below. This is kind of the same. It's the guy that's just like not happy, and he always pushes the girl away, and he's just stubborn and brooding. He's just like acts like the world's against him. And so I want to start this video talking about the classic brooding heroes in literature, and that is Fitzwilliam Darcy and Rochester. What's Rochester's first name? Does Mr. Rochester have a first name? I'm blanking on Mr. Rochester's first name. Mr. Darcy, Mr. Rochester, these guys are the literary epitome of the brooding love interest. That's why I think I love these classics so much. I am an English teacher. I teach high school English. I was an English lit minor in college with my English education major. I would have double majored if it worked, but they were in different colleges and there was no way I would have taken all those extra classes just to get an English lit major. But I love literature so much, and I fell in love with Wuthering Heights. That was the first classic I ever fell in love with. That's also got a brooding hero with Heathcliff. So I love me some brooding men, and I will go ahead and get to my romances from recent years of my favorite brooding men. The first one I have to share with you is one of my beloved authors, and that is What He Never Knew by Candy Steiner. This one is book 3 in this series, but the first 2 books are duet, and so I can't really say too much about this one without spoiling the duet. This one's about the guy not picked in the duet. So the duet in before this is a love triangle with a woman and her husband. They're having a lot of troubles in their marriage, and a guy who comes back from her past that they never really got to have a relationship because she was too young when they kind of had feelings for each other. So he's back in town and he's like, well, I can treat you better than your husband can. And so she has to choose between staying with her husband or choosing this new guy. And so this book's about the person she did not choose. So obviously he's very angry and brooding and just like doesn't feel like he's meant to be with anybody, and it's really good. This is also a forbidden romance, a taboo romance, an age gap romance, and so I loved it, and that's really all I can say without spoiling it. So go ahead and read this. You don't have to read the first 2 books to read this. It probably will help you if you do read the first 2 books and read this one, but I love this one. Then I have The Surviving Trace by Callia Reed. This one is a time-traveling romance series, and so our main character, she travels back in time and like takes over the body of someone who looks just like her. So the person that she has like inhabited is married to Etienne. I think that's how you say his name. I don't speak French, so I'm pretty sure that's a French name. But she's married to him, and he's just this very angry guy, and he hates her, and she realizes it's because her person that she was in the past was very materialistic and spent all of his money, and they married for a reason and not for love, and so he never really loved her, and then she starts falling for him as her future self. So it's hard to explain, but he's definitely very brooding, and he's just serious, and he's a very good businessman, so he's very serious about his work, and he's always working, and he just doesn't love his wife because she doesn't love him, but then this new person's there, and it's a lot of drama, but it's so good. There's 3 books. I've only read the first 2, but I love his character. Next, I have Making Faces by Amy Harmon. This one, I cried like a baby in this one. Our main character is brooding because of what happened in his recent past. He's like big man on campus, golden boy, pretty boy, everybody loves him, and our girl is just this very whimsical, free spirit kind of girl who just walks to the own beat of her drum. That's the saying. And he ends up going off to the military with his best friends. He kind of is like the ringleader, saying like, let's go all serve together, and so they do, and everybody dies but him, and he gets a lot of scarring on his face. So it's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast-ish retelling, inspired, and he comes back home and he just thinks that he's so ugly, and he only goes around at night, and he works where no one can see him, and she befriends him, and it's their romance. And so he's definitely a very broken, brooding man in a more serious sense, that he was hurt in his past and he's really guilty about what happened. If you want a really, really, really emotional one, you need to read this. I've talked about the next one a lot on my channel, but that is A Nordic King by Karina Halley. This one, our main character is a king and his wife dies, and he's in the car when she dies, and they weren't really getting along at the moment anyways, and so he's already just a very like harsh, mean man while he's married, and then the fact that his wife dies, he has to hire a nanny, and he immediately sees who they've hired. She's pretty and young, and he's like, no, 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 that's not gonna work, but his like secretary lady hires her because she's perfect for the job to take care of his 2 toddler girls. I forget how old they are, and there's a forbidden age gap romance between him and his nanny, and it's so good, but he's still so just like angry and mean because of what happened and just because of his life in general, and if you want a very brooding man, you are gonna love this. Most of these guys are brooding because of what happened in their past. The next one I have is Well Met by Jen DeLuca. This is definitely a much lighter, fun romance than the other ones I've been talking about. Our main character moves into town to take care of her sister who broke her leg, and she has to chaperone her niece at a Ren fair, so she decides to help her out, and the only way she can is to actually volunteer herself since she is the chaperone for her niece, and she enters a bantering relationship with Simon, who is an English teacher who is running the Ren Fair, and he is so serious and just like rude around her, even though he's not that way around other people, but he's definitely got that brooding man stereotype around her, but there's a reason for it, and slowly they get to know each other more. This is super, super fun, super cute, fun, lighthearted romance that I would recommend. The next one I have is Down Too Deep by Jay Daniels. This is book 4 in this series, but I've only read 2 other ones in this series. You can definitely read it as a standalone. There are other characters in here from the other books, but there's nothing like detrimental you need to know. Our main character, he is a single dad, and he is devastated because of what happened, and so the beginning of the book is him like rarely even raising his own daughter until his parents finally say, we're not helping anymore, you need to man up and be a father and take care of your daughter, and basically give him a reality check. And so now he is stuck taking care of his daughter, not stuck, but like he has no help now, and he's forced to face what he's been trying to ignore, and that is the loss of his wife and being a single dad and taking care of a toddler who he has no idea how to take care of. And he is also the owner of a restaurant, so he's working a lot, and so the love interest is this single mom of twins, and she sees he needs help and she offers to babysit for him, and they kind of raise the kids together and fall in love along the way. He is definitely brooding. He is so just lost in the world and lost in himself and just trying to build himself back up. So definitely more of a serious one, but it's a really cute romance that I really enjoyed between 2 single parents. The next one I've talked about quite a bit on my channel as well, and that is Marriage for One by Ella Mays. This one is a marriage of convenience novel between a guy named Jack and a girl named Rose, and Jack is very brooding, he's very serious, he's like, we just need to get married because of the certain reason, which I can't tell you because it is a spoiler, and she agrees even though she's like, what the heck am I even doing? But she does it, and they have to pretend to be married, and he is very much like, this is a business relationship, and it's very, very, very slow burn. I think that a lot of brooding hero romances are slow burn because they are so angsty and just like push the girl away because they're like, no, I'm not worthy of love, or I have a lot of other things going on, I don't even know who I am in life. So I really love this one if you want the slow burn. Jack is just so everything, so you have to read this one. And the last one I have is one of my favorite reads of the entire year so far, and that is The Gravity of Us by Brittany C. Cherry. Our main character is very angry and lost, and that's really all I can say. He is a writer, and something happens, and our main character comes into his life. I went in blind, and it was the best reading experience I could have asked for, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Go in blind in this one. You will absolutely fall in love with the characters and their romance and how broken that the guy is and what they have to go through together, and that's all I can say. He's so brooding and just like hurt by the world and just lost, and it's, you just fall in love with him and you just want him to be happy. But I loved it, and you all need to read it now. My sister's reading it now and she's that far in, so you guys need to read it too. And those are some brooding romantic hero recommendations for you. Let me know down below your favorite brooding hero recommendation. I would love to know. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.